There's a massive difference between your mentality and a pro's mentality. And that difference is that on average, pros seem to rage a lot less compared to anyone else. And even if they do technically rage, it doesn't seem to affect their performance. In other words, they don't get tilted. This is so important for many reasons, so to explain this better, imagine this scenario for me. Let's call this guy Bob. Bob grinds Fortnite every day in hopes of going pro, but he has a problem. Bob seems to rage so much when he dies in practice. He might get angry because he died to trash players who seemingly just got really lucky. Maybe he got third-partied, or maybe the zones just kept pulling really far over and over again. Honestly, it's almost like he's trying to find a reason to get angry. This doesn't actually seem so bad until you compare how he is before he rages, when he's just fully locked in trying really hard on his routine, compared to after he rages where he's not doing what he was supposed to do in his routine anymore. He's zoned out, he's playing worse and worse, just spiraling out of control. And you can imagine how bad this would be for Bob's tournaments too, right? He'll have a few good games and then all of a sudden die to something really annoying where he ends up just throwing the whole rest of his tournament due to how tilted he is. It's just sad at this point. If only there was just some way to fix this issue. Well, there is. So in this video, I'm literally going to share with you the 3 strategies that top pros use to fix this issue. So first of all, a great piece of advice that I've given to many of my private coaching students is that regardless of how you're doing during a tournament, you want to finish it out doing the exact same consistent playstyle you usually would. Because what happens is you rage during a tournament, you start trying not as hard, keying more people than you usually would, being less patient with playing passive mid-game to get into endgame, etc, etc. Almost acting like you just want the tournament to be over and done with. Which may not seem like a big deal because in some tournaments, yeah, regardless of if you did bounce back in that tournament or not, you wouldn't benefit from it at all. But that does not matter. The power behind finishing out every single tournament you play regardless of how you feel or are performing in that tournament is that over time doing this, you will teach your brain that raging does not do anything at all for you because you're going to just continue playing out the tournament regardless of how you feel. And over time, you will find yourself starting to rage less and be more able to just keep playing with a consistent playstyle regardless of what's happening. You gotta realize that the more you rage and let yourself quit or play differently, the more you will do it in the future. And this is also the same with raging during practice. Instead of switching practices or playstyles during practice because of how angry you're getting at it, finish out that part of your routine with the same playstyle you were going to do in the first place. Yes, this is going to be really difficult to do at first, but you just need to really push yourself at the start and then over time it will get easier and easier. Now, the second thing I found to really help with raging less was meditation. Meditation is quite literally the practice of improving your awareness. So I found after a while of meditating consistently every day, you start to become more aware of your thoughts that lead to rage, which you now have the ability to turn down before they go crazy. In most situations, you could stop yourself from getting tilted if you just thought for a second how silly it actually is. And meditation literally helps you achieve this, so please start making it a daily habit. I have videos on this and will link one of them in the description of this video. And the final but most important part of fixing your raging issue is accountability. When you truly believe you are accountable for absolutely everything that happens to you, you will stop raging. Because it's really easy to be mad when it feels like you died to something that was just bad luck. And then on the other hand, it's kinda hard to be mad when you know you were in control of your death and can fix that issue for next time. But accountability is weird because I know you'll probably hear me say this and think like, okay, will do, Vujcich. But then fast forward a week max and you'll be blaming something else that wasn't you for your death. And then fast forward a couple more months and you'll be blaming anything but yourself for the stupidest things ever. This is why I developed a protocol for aspiring Fortnite pros where they must promise to blame themselves for absolutely anything that happens to them. Even if it seems completely ridiculous, like you got headshot sniped out of nowhere, someone's hacking and killed you, or maybe you lagged, etc. Cause hey bro, you still could have learnt stuff from those situations. Like maybe with the headshot snipe, your movement was really predictable on the rotate. Or maybe you could have noticed that was a hacker and stayed away from him by looking at the kill feed popping off, etc. And maybe you could have noticed that your internet was acting up and lagging, etc. so you played more passive that game. And even if you can't find a reason at all for your death, you need to still believe that it was your fault. Because otherwise you end up opening up a pathway for blaming, which just gets worse and worse over time until you stop blaming yourself for anything at all. You made it through this whole video, so there's something I'm sure you'd be interested in, bro. My free email newsletter where I post heaps of unique advice and tips and tricks you don't see in my YouTube videos, so join for free using the link in the description of this video.